The drawing of a two-point perspective buildings or city is going to be more difficult than the other ones that we have done previously. As normal, I start with my horizon line and my vanishing points. The first building I'm going to draw will be the city block corner. So I'm going to do the corner of that building. I'm going to take the left side of the building to the left vanishing point and the right side of the building to the right vanishing point, just as I have for all of our previous drawings or for any sort of box that I've drawn in the past. Now what I am going to do is determine the width of the building. This is completely personal and up to me. Using my parallel lines, I'm going to determine both the left side and the right side. Where it gets tricky now is it's going to be similar to that of the box, and I'm going to go towards the opposite vanishing point, just as I did before, and I'm going to erase where the two intersect. Again, you will notice the similarities between a box or the dice as you have at this point. I'm going to go ahead and erase my extra lines on the top of the building, but I'm going to leave the bottom lines that I drew going to my vanishing point. These orthogonals are going to become the bottom of each building that I draw on the city block. To draw the next building in my block, I'm actually going to use the box that I drew before as the corner of my building. From here, I decided to make the corner of this building a little bit higher. I'm going to the left and the right vanishing points, just as I would have previously. I am not changing much about what I am doing, except for the fact that these two boxes share an edge or a line. Here I'm determining the width of the new building, and I'm going to just go ahead and stop that building. Notice this was a short line because I didn't really need it to go all the way through the other building because I knew that it was going to disappear and I would have erased the line. I'm going to take these corners of the building to the opposite vanishing point, just as I do any box that I have in the past. Notice these boxes are right up against one another and they share a wall or an edge of a wall. There's no gap or alley between them. If I wanted a box to be the same height or the next building to be the same height as the previous building next to it, they can actually share an orthogonal. Then I only need to take the box back from the right off to the opposite vanishing corner. So if you notice that I went from that right hand side and I crossed over to the left vanishing corner, and then I used the same line for the back, the same orthogonal from the first cube to go backwards. If I want to draw a building that is higher up and behind the other buildings, I just create a new corner line as you saw me do here. Just as previously done before, I create then the width of the building, doing the parallel lines on the left and the right hand side. The difference to this building is that because it is above the horizon line, I do not have to draw in those extra lines or the extra vanishing lines, orthogonals, because I can't see the rooftop. So I only had 3 lines to draw in total. If I want to draw windows onto my building, or if I want to draw any doors, each line must be either straight up and down or going to a vanishing point. There are none of these lines that are made up or guessed. They are always going to be perfected in the fact that they follow the rules of my perspective. The line must be straight up and down or going to an orthogonal. I followed these rules when I created both this door and the window, as you've seen on the front building. I can continue doing this information on things like the back building. Here you're going to see that I create a row of windows. And this time I'm going to make my left and right sides, but my top line goes to the vanishing point that is closest to it. I can then also create a line that intersects the two in the middle, creating different window panels. Allowing me to determine how many lines there are going to be is going to change the aesthetic of each and every building so that they look individualized and different. Try to recreate the building that you have seen in your example handout above, and it will allow you to experiment. Notice every single time I do these lines, I reestablish my orthogonal by connecting it to my vanishing point. I never guess, I always use my vanishing point. If you do that, your buildings will look accurate.